UConn drops from the ranks of the undefeated. Notre Dame 79, UConn 68. Hannah Hidalgo was absolutely dominant tonight. Let's talk about how that happened and a little bit of frustration on my part as to why it all went down. Taking nothing away from Hannah. She was great tonight, but let's talk about it. You're Locked On Live.
You are Locked On UConn, your daily podcast on the UConn Huskies, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks for making Locked On UConn your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Before we dive into today's show, just want to say thank you to everyone that's on live right now or anybody that listens to the show on a daily basis. We're proud to bring you a daily podcast where we're the only people out there right now who are giving you a daily podcast for the UConn women's and men's basketball program. We sprinkle in a little football from time to time, the absolute basketball capital of the world. To show that gratitude, we're giving back to Husky Ticket Project, donating 10% of our revenue to send kids to games like UConn women's games, men's basketball, and baseball and football. We're also making monthly donations to Bleeding Blue for Good, supporting NIL initiatives that make sense to us. If you're enjoying the show, take a moment to subscribe, follow, leave a review wherever you listen. Thanks again for making Locked On UConn your first listen every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On College to get $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code Locked On College. Okay, let's get to the action here. Notre Dame was the faster, quicker, more aggressive team tonight. They win 79-68. A team in the country coming in. They lost 2 in a row, then they won 3 straight now. They were a 2-point home dog, 2.5 maybe. They win comfortably over undefeated second-ranked UConn, led by Paige Bueckers. But what a showdown we just witnessed. We'll get into the statistics and to my thoughts on this, but bottom line is Notre Dame's Hannah Hidalgo delivered on her performance. She is an absolute spark plug. She's more than that. She's not she's 5'6", she's plucky, she's all this. She's legit. But she also got help from UConn, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. They won 79-68. Hidalgo was unstoppable, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. 10 rebounds for a 5'6" guard is stupid. Cementing her status as one of the biggest and brightest stars in college basketball as a sophomore. Look, she controlled the game on both ends of the floor. I thought what UConn did defensively against her was horrendous, if I'm being honest. She was a difference maker because she's also a take what you give her. She's a volume shooter, but she didn't need to be. I mean, if we look at her stats, she was 8 of 17. She shot just under 50%, 6 of 11 from 3, made all her free throws. Notre Dame saw some really strong contributions from Leitu King, who was freaking everywhere, 16 points and 12 rebounds. She picked up the pace for Sonia Citron, who is usually a 14-point scorer. And that's the difference, is they had 3 scorers. UConn, let's take a look at their scoring. They really had 2. I mean, Caitlin Chen gave you double digits, and KK had 10 off the bench, but most of those were almost unimpactful. Caitlin hit a big 3. She had a couple decent shots, but Sarah had 14 points. She looked okay. She wasn't her normal self. 14 points, 7 rebounds, was dealing with foul trouble. Paige was good. She's her normal self. She was 25 points, 50% from the floor. She didn't make any threes, though. That was an issue for me because, look, if we want Mamba Paige, where she essentially just goes ham and, goes crazy and says, clear out, I got this, that's what I wanted to see tonight. We didn't see that from Paige. We saw usual Paige, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're the best player in the country, like I think she is, from like soup to nuts, best all-around player, at sometimes in your game, you have to sacrifice being that efficient player to being the player that dominates a game. My issue tonight has 0 to do with the talent that UConn has. My issue tonight is even without AZ Fudd, this team is good enough to win this game tonight. They didn't win this game tonight because of mental lapses. And I made a couple of points on this, and I'm going to talk about two or three of them, and then I'm going to go to a break. What I'm also going to do is we have 65 people in the chat here. I'm going to put the invite in here. If anyone wants to come on the show and talk through any of the issues they had, or if they're a Notre Dame fan, you'd like to gloat, feel free to jump on the show. The link is in the chat. Just want to say that if you are, you don't have to be on the air. If you jump on, I can just have you on audio. So we do this all the time. Hold on real quick. Is this the same girl that you wanted me to shout out? She was getting a shout out tomorrow on a show. If you give me the details, I'll give her a shout out even more. So hope that's awesome. I hope it works out for you. But just let me know about that. What did Brandon say here? Strong learning moment, picking up the early follows. Gino had to keep her in to get her third because they had too little offense otherwise. Yeah, that's the risk you take. But unfortunately, it's she's essentially their only front court presence. I saw a little bit better moments from Jana, but she's still too raw. Yeah, I agree with you, CJ. But I mean, what I have to say this, and I'm not saying this anything negative towards AZ, but we never have had AZ. This team should know what it's like to win games without her. It should be a luxury to have her. And so the fact that she was out tonight, it shouldn't have changed what this team does. Ashlyn Shade played a horrendous game. She didn't make any shots. She literally didn't make any shots. It's not a euphemism. She was 0 for 5. She missed her only 3-point shot. She did have some rebounds. She had 4 rebounds and a steal. But she didn't affect winning in really any moment. Orlando, I agree with you, man. But I also feel like they don't play this offense to run it through the bigs, even though they have in the past. They don't have dominant bigs. Jana is supposed to be at some point. She's a redshirt freshman. I think she's still working her way into actual game shape. She only played, I think, 22 minutes tonight. She played more than normal. But I don't know, man. This team should be running their offense through Paige and Sarah exclusively until AZ comes back. Because you're not beating USC, you're not beating Iowa State if you don't do that. I just don't see it. So this could be a tough stretch for them unless they figure it out. But here's a couple of things, and then we're going to go to a break. One thing, UConn, the start of this game, I'm going to tell you how much momentum is not a stat that you can try to quantify, but it is a psyche thing. UConn gets not necessarily they're not getting outplayed terribly, but I think Notre Dame was up 7-4, and then they were up 9-5 or 9-4, and then UConn goes on a little 6-0 run to start the first quarter, and they're up 10-9. On that same possession, up 10-9, where they were just on this 6-0 run. This is how little the margins are when you playing better competition, especially a team that can shoot the three like Notre Dame can, because they were 10 of 18 from three, and I shot at 55% from the floor. KK Arnold goes for a steal. She gets beat. Hannah Hidalgo hits her first three of the night to give them a 12-10 lead. Then on the next possession, she gets a steal. And Ashlyn Shade, this is one of many mental lapses, not just from her, but from the entire defense on how to play Hannah Hidalgo. I can't imagine Gino Auriemma, who knows that this Hannah Hidalgo is an absolutely plus shooter. You're going to back off of her to protect the basket as if this 5'6" guard, no disrespect, she's short, is going to blow by you. Who cares? Let her blow by you. Let her see if she can finish at the rim with 6'5" Janelle Elfie or Sarah Strong underneath. But on a transition breakaway, you let Hannah Hidalgo just step into another three. She goes on a personal 6-0 run. Now it's 15-10, and off we go. Off we go. We're going to come back because this is 100% something we're going to talk about. KK Arnold and others going under on screens on these, and also ice, not hedging on screens to just to give a different look to Hannah Hidalgo. We're going to talk about that after the break. All right, my friends, at Game Time, let's talk about it. There's nothing like being courtside for a live NBA game, the energy of the crowd, the sound of the sneakers squeaking on the court, and the thrill of seeing your favorite players up close. It's an experience you can't replicate. I'll never forget it. I'm down here in North Carolina. I moved down here in 2010. I got season tickets to the Hornets. I saw Kemba Walker hit a buzzer beater back in like 2015, I think against the Wizards. It was an unbelievable experience. And I know Husky fans can't wait to watch Paige or Sarah Strong do something incredible live. We've already seen a little bit of it. And who would it be? But there's the thing. Finding great tickets doesn't have to be stressful. You can also get tickets to concerts, comedy, theater, and more. It's easier than ever to find incredible deals on seats without sifting through endless options. I checked out Game Time Picks all the time for friends and family since they know they sponsor the show. And they have this unbelievable panoramic seat view before purchasing, all in pricing. The lowest price guarantee means if you find a better price, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So why wait? Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. All right. I appreciate everyone in the chat. No one wants to come in. We've got a lot of comments. I know that some of you want to jump on here and voice your opinion. I'll put the link in the chat once again. I know some of you are huge fans of both the men's and women's basketball program. Come on and tell me your thoughts. All right, I'm going to go back to this. KK goes under on a ton of screens in this game. All of them, KK, Ice, anybody that was playing pick and roll defense with Koval on, trying to kind of essentially make a wedge between whoever was trying to guard on this. Why wouldn't you chase the screen? Do not go under on Hannah Hidalgo. You cannot. You cannot go under on her at all. You just can't. We needed more of Ashlyn Shade in this game, 1,000%. Thank you, Chaya. I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. But what I will tell you, BJ, Ashlyn Shade played awful tonight. We have to call a spade a spade. I don't care. Like she didn't play great defense tonight. Who'd she play great defense on? I don't know. Nobody on Notre Dame had a tough scoring night except for Kate Koval. But listen, Arnold, I'm not going to disagree with you that she's a talent, but can we stop using the term generational for every freaking player? Can we just do that? I'm not even hating. Hannah Hidalgo is amazing. I opened up the show with calling her amazing. But God, that's just such an overplayed adjective in my opinion. She does not have Caitlin Clark's range. First off, at 5'6", she needs help. If I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk, I'm telling you that when she gets to the next level, when she plays against bigger guards, they're going to make her go to the hole. She's not Steph Curry. I'm just saying. She's awesome. Like, give me Hannah Hidalgo all day. She's a fantastic defensive player. I'm seeing all this in the chat. And Chai, you're also right. She can only go right. Did you notice that when they made her go left, she didn't do anything? So she's a work in progress. Let's not crown people when they're sophomores in college. And I'm guilty of it too, because I've been giving Sarah Strong a ton of flowers when we probably need to take a step back with her. She's not Brianna Stewart. She's not this, but she is pretty scary for what she is. Look, what I'm saying is that Hannah Hidalgo dominated this game because halfway in part because UConn played a defense that was soft. They did not rough her up. They did not try to get in her kitchen. The way that Sonia Citron was literally in Paige's shorts the entire game. Didn't get any calls. I don't care about that. The whistle was equal. There wasn't a foul called in like the first quarter. I mean, I forget who it was. Was it Ryan Rosillo who said we're gonna be at O'Hare in no time? And he's right because the game flew by. So I have no issue with them calling a game like that. But what you have to do is you have to be aggressive. Make them call a foul on you. If think about this. Let's look at this. Ice Brady had no fouls. She's a front court player. How does that happen? KK Arnold, 1 foul. 1. Be aggressive. Citron goes over a lot of screens because that's how you stop Paige from getting the ball. It's the same for Hidalgo, who needs a lot of ball screens. Play drop coverage and see if Caldwell can shoot threes. Dude, I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I said dude. So dude, bro, gal, my person. That is so perfectly stated, because if we play better defense tonight, we win this game. Think about it. You're down 11 at halftime. You cut the lead to where are my notes? Because this was such a crucial part of this game. You cut the lead to 1. And then what happens? You go under a screen. Ice Brady goes and retreats instead of going out on Hannah Hidalgo, and she hits a buzzer-beating three-pointer to end the third quarter. Like, what are we doing? As soon as you let this team get comfy, everyone got confidence. Everyone got confidence. Lai-Tu King hit every mid-range jump shot. What was she? I'm going to look at her stats really quick. 8 of 14. I think she was like 7 of 7 from mid-range. It's insane. And here's the thing. Did she foul Paige Bueckers when she went over the top of everybody and Rebecca Lobo went crazy and Ryan Rosillo went, yeah, that was a foul though. Yeah, but you know what happens with the refs? They usually reward the more aggressive team. So we need to be more aggressive. That's the bottom line. And honestly, I thought so too. But Hannah Hidalgo made shots because we played weak defense. I want to see Hannah Hidalgo. Then if we play them again in March, if I'm Gino and I say I'm literally telling whoever's guarding her, whether it's KK, whether it's Ashlyn, whomever, if she makes more than 2 threes in this game, you're not playing at all. And if she does, it better be because she got a contested shot. All right, we got our first caller here. Let's go, Brandon.
Hey.
What you got, man? How are you?
This is my first time doing it. Should I mute on the video?
No, man, you're good. If you want to be on video, you don't have to. It's up to you.
No. I just needed to mute on the side. So, I thought like the game was lost with all those turnovers at the beginning of the fourth quarter. That was just really tough. I felt like they didn't really have a plan in terms of offense at that point. And they really couldn't recover after that.
Yeah, man, I think that at that point, when the fourth quarter started and they're only down, I think they were down 2. Let me look at the box score. They were down 4. Okay, so they won the third quarter 24-17. They were down 11. So yeah, it's a 4-point game because they were down 1. They were down 1. I just talked about Hannah hitting that 3 that put them up 4 at the buzzer, right? So you're only down 4. And as soon as the fourth quarter starts, you hear Ryan Rosillo talking about Notre Dame's coach talking about how they need stops, multiple stops, and we're going to win this game. That's exactly what happened. You're right. Turnovers, just poor offense. At that point, I need Paige to step up. I need Paige to get Sarah Strong in pick and roll, and I need them to essentially facilitate offense. And if they can create some spacing, then maybe you get a 3-pointer from Caitlin Chen, or you get maybe a dump off to Jana for a layup, or whatever it is. But you can't turn the ball over in those situations. So you're 1,000% right. But it just felt like the air kind of, at least in my house, kind of left the room when they got down by 10 again. It was like all that time to work to get it down to 1, the 3 by Hannah, and then now it's all of a sudden a 6-0 run by them, and it's back up to 10. Honestly, I never thought they were going to recover from that.
No, and I don't know how you even fix the offensive rebound situation, but I felt like they were in double digits, like beginning of the second quarter. It was insane.
Easily, they had, and honestly, Brandon, I'm not a storied coach like Gino Auriemma, but I know how to fix offensive rebounding. Desire, you just have to want it. Like there were a few of those. Like if you went back and watched this, like just frame by frame and watched every possession, there were probably 4 or 5 unlucky bounces that kicked out for open threes. And that happens. And you can account for those. But you can't, like, a microcosm of this game is the last play of the game. The game's already over. But
With a free throw.
why? Yeah, Lai Tu King, she misses a free throw and she gets her rebound. She gets her rebound through KK and Paige. Like, you can't let that happen. That to me was inexcusable. And if I'm Gino, I'm literally talking about that after the game and being like, guys, like, you're not going to win games like this if that's your attitude. It's just not going to happen. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be really tough for them to win games the way that they were playing on defense. In terms of, like I said, I'm sure Gino gave them the assignment to go over on screens and to play a certain way. I feel like that's why he had to use that last timeout so early too, because he's like, I don't understand what the players are doing, and
right.
That's
I hear you, man.
where he was at that point.
Are you a student at UConn?
Oh no, I was a student at UConn. I'm in my 30s at this point, but
okay.
I went to grad school there.
You look so young. Are you kidding me? You're in your 30s?
Yeah, I was class of 2010 for undergrad, and then I went to grad school there.
Awesome, man. Well, congrats, dude. I appreciate you coming on. I haven't had a lot of folks jump on the women's show, so I appreciate it 100%. Come back because I'm going to do it.
Thanks for having me.
Try to do it every time they play. That was Brandon. Thanks for jumping on, Brandon. He makes a good point. There were some turnovers and can't have those in the fourth quarter. I'm going to go take a quick break to do this FanDuel ad because that's what we have to do to pay the bills, and then we'll be back and close out the show. If anyone else wants to jump on, feel free. But we're going to take a quick break. What's up, my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, you can tackle the action at FanDuel because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So you can get a hunch in the middle of the game. You can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. I hope none of y'all played any bets on this game because UConn was a 2.5-point favorite. I wish I could say I was lucky, but I didn't. I did exactly what FanDuel says. I took the hunch, even though my gut told me that Notre Dame was going to win this because I called this one. If you go back to my preseason analysis of game by game, I said this was going to be their first loss of the season because it's their first road game. A lot of questions about this team. And then you throw in AZ being hurt in a game before. I should not have bet UConn tonight. I should have took Notre Dame in the points. And then if UConn won, I wouldn't have cared. So this one stings double for me. But you know what? Bottom line. What'd you say, Arnold? Agreed, Mark. Gino is to attach to UConn's traditional all lives matter offense and needs to be Paige and Sarah show. I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to touch that. But what I will tell you is he runs a motion offense, and this team before this game was shooting a high percentage from three. And tonight they shot 18%, 18.8% from three. You're barely beating Holy Cross shooting 18% from three. You're certainly not going to beat a Hannah Hidalgo led Notre Dame team. With a compromised Olivia Miles who turned her ankle and still scored 16 points on you. With Sonia Citron essentially being like, I'm not going to score tonight. I'm just going to try to lock up Paige. You know what's so crazy is like I thought she did an amazing job on defense, and Paige still scored 25 points. So, but you know what we needed Paige to score tonight? 40. I had Maggie Vanoni on, and she'll be on at some point next week. I think Emily Adams will be on tomorrow from the beat of Connecticut beat reporters, Connecticut Insider and Hartford Current. And one thing I told Maggie and I told Emily is that if Paige is being asked by Gino to be Kobe Bryant, that's like one of her favorite players, if not her idol. We need Mamba Paige. We need that bad. because until AZ comes back, she needs to learn how to flip that switch and get it going, because I want to see aggressive Paige. I want to see Paige have 14 points in the first quarter against Notre Dame. I want to see her have that against USC. And if it's at the expense of Sarah, guess what? Sarah has 3 more years after this at UConn. She shouldn't care. Paige is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, no matter what. She's going to go on to have a phenomenal WNBA career. She's going to lead teams to probably championships. If she doesn't, she's going to lead them to the playoffs. Not everyone's as lucky. There's no doubt in my mind that if Paige puts her mind to, I need to be more of a scorer this year and less efficient, then I'm good. BJ, I think you are 1,000% wrong, and here's why. Because he's imploring her to be more aggressive. If you put Paige in pick and roll and she kicks it out, is that Gino's fault or is that Paige's fault? You have to have accountability for the player, especially in this era. For the last few years, players get paid. They can get endorsement deals. She has her own shoe, for Christ's sake. I mean, Paige has to be accountable for what happens in a game. And we talked about this at the very beginning of the season, which is, it's unbelievable. It would be ironic, not unbelievable. It'd be ironic and it would be tragic if a girl like Paige, who is so phenomenal, never wins a title at UConn because of injuries and all the different things that have gone on. But in the years that she's healthy, they just fall short because maybe she doesn't have enough help or whatever. But at this point, what does she have to lose? There's no turning back. What's this? You can't be aggressive if you don't have the ball and playing mostly off ball. Just saying, but Gino's offense starts her off the ball. Yes, Rastine, you can't be aggressive if you don't have the ball. But do you think if she goes, give me the ball, you think KK Arnold's not going to give it to her? Or you think Caitlin Chen's not going to give it to her? Or Sarah Strong? I don't know if anyone plays pickup. But if you ever played pickup and there is an alpha on the court, men or women, because I played with both. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story after this. If someone is on the court and they're the best player on the court and they're saying, give me the ball. If you don't give them the ball, you're probably not playing on their team if you win. Again, they're going to replace you. So what I need from Paige is that alpha mentality. Give me the ball. Get out of my way. ISO me, pick and roll me, whatever. Put me in positions at the top of the key, whether it's in a horn set, whether it's a 4 flat, whatever you want to do. She needs to be controlling the offense. It's kind of like, and I hate the comparison because it's a different sport, but it used to bother me early in his career when LeBron James didn't get the ball on possessions, when he was so dynamic with the ball and also could find open shooters. When they'd go possessions at a time without letting him dominate play. Paige is that player. So it is what it is. I need her to always have a touch. The only person that can tell Paige no is Sarah Strong. That's it, because Sarah is that good. If Sarah wants to shoot a 3, if Sarah gets open and she wants to take someone off the dribble, do it. That's what Gino said, and I agree with him because she's damn good and she's proved it. But in crunch time, Paige has to say, give me the ball. All right. Oh, Jimmy, why are you being such a why are you trolling, man? Just take the dub and go home and be grateful that you have a team that has a chance to win a national championship. I know it's tough for teams to compete with UConn when it comes to championships. You've done something I don't think anyone's done in a really long time, which is beat them 3 years in a row. So take your win and get off my show. Look, guys, I'm going to go. This has been a fun show. I really appreciate it. Had some great engagement tonight. Thank you, Brandon, for jumping on. If anyone wants to jump on really quick, going once. Going twice as I'm yawning and I'm tired and it's been a long day. I'm going to put this show out for people that haven't heard it on the audio side. There's the link. Oh, Jimmy. You're pretty funny. Yeah, he's working overtime. It's 9:38. He just got out of work and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna hit this Locked On UConn show and I'm just gonna troll them. Does Gino have a buyout? All this different stuff. I love it. I can't wait, Jimmy. Please, why don't you jump on the show? Hey, I'll give you a chance. Come in, talk your smack if you want. Please feel free. What is this? If Gino isn't letting them pass to her, she isn't going to get the ball. BJ, yeah, what are we talking about? You don't think Gino wants her to get the ball? I mean, I've done stories. The entire beat reporters, all the beat reporters have talked about how Gino's demanded that she be more aggressive. Like, what are we doing? All right, listen, I'm gonna go. BJ, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody on the show, even Jimmy. Love that you're in SoCal. I used to live there back in the day. This has been another Locked On UConn. Oh, wait, one more question. You know what? I was frustrated tonight with both of them. I think Ice was atrocious. What I will say is Jana is going to be good. She is still a little too raw. Great example at the end of the game. I thought she made a great first move. I think she was played against Kate Koval because Kate's like a bigger gal and she's quicker. So Jana, even at the same size, beat her off the dribble. But instead of going straight up, she tried to gather herself and brought the ball down, got stripped, turnover, goes the other way. So that's a frustration for me when it comes to Jana. She's got to be a little more fundamentally sound, and I think she can get to that point. 4 points. I think she played 25 minutes off the bench. I don't have the minutes in front of me. And she played second half. She started over Ice. So I think Ice is in the doghouse. You know, sometimes I think about situational defense and situational offense. Like Ice had 2 long 2-pointers. All we need for her is to be situationally smart. Those could be 3-pointers. Those could be the difference in a game. Obviously not tonight, you lose by 9, but getting an extra 2 points on those possessions would have been helpful. That kind of stuff. And also, I would say that I need them to be more aggressive. I need them to be boxing out more. That offensive rebounding tonight was atrocious. It got better at the end of the second half, but it needs to be better. And offensively on the ball, I mean, what's going to happen against Juju Watkins? Like, who's going to guard her? So, anyway, this has been another episode of Locked On UConn. I'm your host, Mark Zanetto, asking you to stay locked in. Stay connected, guys. This team right here is going to need it. This is a tough stretch before Christmas. I don't want there to be coal in all of our stockings to come December 26th because UConn's lost, 2 or 3 games here early, but could happen. We got to stay with this team. It's going to be there in the end. I don't even care if we're a 3 or 4 seed. This team's got the talent to win a national championship. Just got to stay strong, stay connected. All right, y'all. Have a good one.